Hey. I'm thinking about starting a new segment. Especially like at the beginning of stream before I play any actual video games. I like to tell a story. But I'm not the best at telling stories. I don't know what kind of stories that would attract people. Shit. Like last night I was thinking about my story of my friends when I was in the military. Pretty funny stories. I'm just thinking of whether or not I should tell it, because I mean, even if I did tell the story, I would leave the names out. So, and also, if you ever watch my videos and you see or you hear noise, it's me playing with these chips. It keeps my anxiety down. Or because I need to fidget with my hands and stuff. I also have a fidget cube, but I don't use it as much because it's like too small. It's fun, but I don't know. I think that's why playing games, it keeps my hands busy and stuff all day. I like building with my hands. Eventually I would like to become like a carpenter. I would love to have my own like garage, workshop, just full of woodworking tools and any kind of woodworking. Maybe I'm not gonna say except the lathe. I'm too scared to use the lathe because that shit is scary, man. I have seen some stuff in the Navy where things were turning like that, even at a slow rate, but a very high horsepower behind it, and people's clothes getting caught, and oh, it's scary. That's why you're not supposed to wear like loose jewelry, or women, they're not supposed to have like their hair dangling and stuff. It has to be either shoulder length or in a bun. That shit is pretty scary, man. And it would be nice to tell my story to people live, because I like feeding off of an audience. But there's no one in my chat. But I could tell it and then post it onto YouTube. I mean, I should just do it and then see where it goes from there. And I can probably tell a different story every day. All someone has to do is say like a word, and then I'll try to associate a story to that word. Like right now, okay, I'll tell this story. Let me put these away so you can hear me. I just thought of the word gangbang, right? But the funny thing is, it's not what. I mean, it is what you think. It is kind of weird. Like one of my friends, he was. Fuck, I don't know if I should tell this story. I'll tell one part of the story. So, okay, here are my friends. I'm not gonna say their names, but let's say their names are Chicago, Bell, and Jordan. Okay, so Bell, Chicago, and Jordan and I We're all hanging out downtown San Diego. And this was, I was in the military, so this is back in like, I don't know, 2000. I was 21 at least. 2011, 12, something like that. Yeah, I just aged myself too. But so we're on the club of, obviously we're trying to get drunk, trying to pick up girls. It doesn't really happen because that's what happens when guys are just fucking stupid or they don't know how to pull girls. But let's skip the fun part of the club, right? It's at the end of the night, and it's probably like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and everybody on the so in San Diego they have this region, this like 3x3 of clubs and restaurants basically, and it's called the Gas Lamp, the San Diego Gas Lamp. I think that's what it's called if I remember correctly. So we're down there, we're hanging out, and then it's just like when all the clubs close, it's just drunk people everywhere for blocks, right? And we're at a corner just waiting for a taxi. There was no Ubers back then, so we were waiting for a taxi. It was taking a while. And okay, so the way we're standing like against the wall, right? My friend Jordan is here, then me, then Chicago, and Bell, right? We're all dudes, by the way. I don't know if that really matters, but so we're all hanging out against the wall and we're just shooting the shit, waiting for a cab. And my friend Bell, he starts screaming, "Yo, I want to gangbang somebody tonight." And we think it's funny, whatever. And he's like, "Damn, I'm like really trying to gang." He's like yelling, right? Drunk yelling. And we know he's talking about, I guess all of us and fucking a bunch of other girls too, like at all in one room, like an actual gangbang, right? So he starts yelling this, and then there's these two dudes, right? They were definitely taller than me. Everybody's taller than me, but they were pretty tall. I would say like 6'3", 6'4", something like that. It was a Latino guy and a black guy, right? And all my friends are white, so I just thought of that now. That's maybe it could have been a little racist, but it's all white guys, and then a Latino and a black guy come up. The Latino hears my friend Bell screaming out, "I want to gangbang somebody," right? And we think it's innocent, but the Latino guy looks at my friend Bell. It's like, "Oh, you trying to gangbang?" And my friend Bell, he's like, "Fuck yeah, I want to gangbang," just being all innocent. Yelling gangbangs, like, "Fuck yeah, I want to gangbang." Latino's guys, "You want to fucking gangbang?" And he starts getting angry, and my friend Jordan's like, "Oh shit, here we go again." And I'm just like, well, let's see what happens, right? If there was a fight that's gonna happen, I'll join in, or if it doesn't, then we're cool, everything's cool. My friend Chicago, he's immediately in fucking fight mode, but he doesn't launch first, right? He probably should have, or whatever. And then it was Bell. So Bell, right, second to my left, is having this argument with the Latino guy because, "You want fucking gangbang? I'll fuck you up right now," blah blah. He's like, and then Bell's like, "What what are you talking about? I'm just trying to gangbang." He's like, "Yeah, you want fucking gangbang?" And Bell's like, with like girls and and I think the Latino guy thought that Bell was just now being a bitch and backing down, right? But no, he was just telling the truth. But the Latino guy just kept fucking hovering over and wanted to fight him. Meanwhile, the Latino's black friend is just standing there, and he's poised to go too. He's poised. So that's why my boy Chicago, he's poised too. They're just waiting for someone to do something. And so Bella is talking about gangbanging and stuff, and then out of nowhere, the black friend of the Latino fucking smashes Bell into the wall, and he just falls straight to the ground. I remember, oh, and my boy Chicago fucking bull rushed the black guy, and they're fighting. No, he bull rushes the Latino actually, Because he thought Bell and the black guy, I guess, were gonna handle themselves, so Chicago was gonna handle Latino. So they're fighting over there. My boy Bell is knocked out, and then Jordan, he's like, oh shit, and he kind of just like fucks off. So if you do the math right, it was just me, a 5'3" Asian guy, and this fucking 6'5" black guy. And I'm like, all right, here we go. So I square up with him, and I'm trying to hit him. Obviously, I'm missing. I can't reach him, right? But he's fucking socking me in the face. And I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, even when I was drunk at the time, he had like good 5 solid hits, you know, like in my head. And I just remember him like, and I'm squaring up with him still. He's hitting me, and I'm like trying to dodge, but he's hitting me, and I'm squaring up. I still don't get a hit in. But after the 5th hit, I just see him like, what the fuck? He's like, I guess at the point he was confused why he was giving his all basically, and I wasn't going down. He most likely underestimated me. He thought, oh, this little Asian dude, I'm just gonna hit him once. And whatever that happens, and we fight, and then I don't remember what happened with my boy Chicago and the Latino guy, but they eventually break. I guess people break them up, and obviously somebody was probably started yelling cops or whatever. It was probably, actually, I think it was my friend Jordan. He was probably like, yo, the cops gonna come, the cops coming. So we're like, fuck, they go running, and I'm like, I'm still like dazed. Like, I remember him hitting me and seeing those flashes of lights, which is a weird thing. That's not the first time I felt that, but I got jumped one time back in high school. I could tell that story later. But yeah, sometimes when you get punched, you just see this flash of light. So whenever you see like those fighting movies and you see like a flash of light, that happens. It's pretty crazy. Man, this music, I'm sorry. Well, I like the music. It's just this ad right now.
Help your offer stand out. Rocket Technology provides a rock-solid verification of your income.
Fucking Streamlabs crashed. Kind of ruined my flow. Well, that kind of sucks. This is my first video. I doubt too many people would go down this far. By the time I get popular, you know what I mean? The music coming back? Okay. Alright, the flow of the story. Wait. We're talking about my friend Jordan and a bunch of people. They call cops. So the dude walks off. Oh yeah, I was talking about punches. Yeah, and that flash of light. It's real. It's pretty crazy. So after everyone like kind of spreads out, we're just still in there. I'm still like, what the fuck just happened? Like, it probably all happened within like fucking 15 seconds, but it felt like an eternity or whatever. That's what really happens when your adrenaline's going. Just everything happens a little slower because you're more in tuned. That's why it comes good in gaming when your heart rate's up. That's what G Fuel and people who drink coffee and stuff is for. Okay, but the cops go in, we're now we're like fucking just walking off, and we finally get in the cab and we're laughing our asses off. Whenever Bell, I don't even remember. I remember we picked him up after the fight and like dragged him into the cab, and he's still like, oh shit, and he's like kind of laughing at Chicago's having the time of his life, because I'm pretty sure he grew up as a fighter or something, and he just loved that adrenaline that he had, and he was psyched up, and I'm just like, what the fuck just happened? And my friend Jordan, he just looks at me, he's like, yo, I didn't think you were gonna be able to stand up to that guy. And I was just like, I don't know, I had to. It's like either I get knocked out or, you know, he'll fight somebody else. And my friend's just, I was not expecting you to square up like that. I was like, I don't know where I learned it from, just maybe reaction, my fight or flight kicked in, and maybe watching those movies helped, I don't know. But yeah, that was one of the craziest things that happened in San Diego while I was in the military. There's a lot more stories. There's another story with Bell. I'm not sure if I should tell it. Hello, I'm telling stories right now. What was I? Fuck. Let's talk about getting fights in San Diego while I was in the military. Why did Vampire not attack Taylor Swift? Is this supposed to be a joke? Cause she got bad blood. How old is that song? I don't even remember. Oh, I can't even play it. That sucks. You're a veteran? I am a veteran. In the Navy. U.S. Navy. Cool. Cool. What about you? Where are you from? Why did I join the Navy? Okay, that's a pretty good story. Let me lower the volume a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Thank you for the follow. Okay, I joined the Navy because after high school, there's a before story about like I dated a girl for 4 years and she broke my heart at the end of high school, but that's another story. But basically that happened. And then when that happened, it was like near the end of my senior year, like the last 3 months or so, and at that time your mind is supposed to be in I guess where I'm from, or do you want to just tell you? We can play a game if you can give me hints. Let's talk. Okay, so I was joining the Navy because she broke up with me and my like heart's broken and my mind's in a fucking weird place. I don't know if I want to go to college. I don't want to go to college. I don't know what my other options are. My family, we grew up very poor, so there's no way we can afford college, and I didn't want to put that strain on my parents. So I'm like, fuck, what do I do? I did eventually apply to some colleges. I think I got accepted to one. It was actually a vocational school. It's not even a college. But even if I got that exception, I didn't want to go to school. So what did I do? Oh yeah, I just, my friends, they started talking about, oh, join the Navy, blah blah, there's all these benefits. I'm like, man, I'm not gonna join the military or whatever. And then once he said that to me though, I started thinking about it every day. I was like, fuck, I can get away from here. Basically I can leave like where I grew up, because I didn't really grow up, I guess, in favorable conditions. But fuck, I'm losing my train of thought. What was I talking about? Favorable conditions. I didn't get to, oh, so I one day went to college to man life's a bitch. Yeah, so once I started thinking about it more, I was like, okay, you know what, just let me check out the recruiting office. So I go to the recruiting office. At first I actually wanted to join the Marines, because I wanted to be a hard ass. I wanted to, it sounds weird, but I wanted to like kill people. I think it's because I was so heartbroken that I wanted to hurt others, and the Marine was like the perfect thing for me at the time, because like, oh shit, I get to kill people for the US government. I don't know, I was stupid back then. So I'm knocking on the door of the Marine office, but they're not there, and right across the hall is the Navy's office, right? And they look over and say, hey, you need something, man? I was like, I'm just trying to talk to the Marine recruiters. They're like, they're on lunch, man, come back tomorrow. I was like, okay. A few days go by, because obviously I'm like, fuck, I can't believe I just tried to sign up for the Marines, and I'm still thinking about it. And then like a few days later, I come over again around like the same time. I don't know why I didn't think about not coming around lunchtime, but I knock on the door again, and like the Navy guys, they remember, like, hey, you were here last week. I was like, yeah, they're still not here. I was like, and they're like, I don't know, man, they're probably on lunch again, taking a break or whatever. So I was like, oh fuck it, whatever. I leave again. I was like, I'll come back in like an hour or so. So I actually go and eat lunch by myself. I'm eating lunch, just waiting, and then I come back again, and the door's still closed. I was like, what the fuck, right? And then the Navy guy's like, hey, come in here, just sit on the couch. You could wait for him, wait for them. I was like, okay, yeah, sure. And it's just like, zzz, and they got the bite. They're reeling me in, right? So maybe that Marine recruit was just a whole ploy. That's pretty smart of them. Okay. So I'm in the Navy office. I'm on the couch. And I'm just chilling. No one says anything yet. And I'm looking around. I think they know that, like, I'm looking around, seeing all these things. I was like, oh shit, the Navy's cool. And I think I'm like, so what do you guys do in the Navy? And they knew. They knew they could get me right there. They started telling me about all the jobs I can do. If the more smarter you are, you can get a higher paying job. I was like, oh shit, that's cool as fuck. And they're talking to me like, oh, after your contract, you can go to school for free. I was like, you could go to school for free? That was the biggest thing that got me. I was like, oh shit, I can do basically a regular job and then get free school. So I'm like, oh god. It's like, but I was 17 at the time and I couldn't sign out without a parent. So I'm like, but they asked me my age. I was like 17. I was like, oh, you're gonna need your parents' permission. And I'm like, there's no way my mom's gonna fucking let me do this, you know. And so I go home and I talk to my mom, and the Navy straight up no. Mom, come on, let me. I don't want to go to college. She's like, you don't want to go to college. Like, this is a typical Asian mom, you know. They think education is the most important thing in the world. I'm not sure why, because I'm a first generation American Asian or Asian American. But yeah, I'm trying to convince my mom, and then I was like, Mom, they're gonna give me free school. That ringed for her too. She was like, free school? I was like, yeah. She's like, let me go down to this Navy office. So like a couple of days later, we go down to the Navy's office, and my mom's there, and they think about it now. They're like, we got him, boys. We got him. Hook, line, and sinker. So they're telling her all the benefits. He's like, he's gonna be able to travel the world. He's gonna work so much. He's gonna get paid this much, and then he can go to school for free while in the Navy and go to school for free after for 4 years. And he's just fucking telling her all this good stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I'm about to be in the fucking Navy. Then then I'm going into the Navy. Like 3 months later, they're like, hey man, you're gonna ship out. There's a lot more other details in between that before I shipped out. Like I had to go to do medical diagnosis, and one of the funny thing is, I think it's called MEPS. It's like medical examination something. And it's weird what they make you do in there. I had to, like, do you know what a duck walk is? Like, you're walking, but you're squatted down and you gotta like do this walk. It's like, okay. But I was like in a room with like 5 of the guys. Like, okay, everyone get naked and do the duck walks in circles. And you're like, what the fuck? And then people just start doing it. And this is the weird thing. When you're young, you're so like impressionable. They just started getting naked. And I was just like, okay. You know, and I started, just make sure you're not going to some like weird sex trafficking thing, okay? But yeah, I'm naked and we're just doing these fucking duck walks in circles, and they're like, okay, you guys can set up now. And I get it, they're checking if you have any like weird disabilities or like weird body forms. They want to make sure you're healthy. So I guess that's like one of the best ways to do it, because when you're naked they can see all the muscles and the way your bones work. So it's a weird way to see how somebody's healthy, but it works. And then September of 2018, I'm flying to Chicago, and the rest is history. Oh man, that made me thirsty. Yeah, I want to start doing stuff like this more. Like, I think ultimately I like being on Twitch because I get to play games. But I figure, you know, why not like the first hour or so I just talk to somebody, share some amazing stories, and then put it on YouTube. And if people enjoy it, they will come. I hope you enjoy that story, Teehee. Teehee? Is that like the Michael Jackson Teehee, or is it? Sorry if that was offensive. Teehee Tutu. Oh, great. Thank you. I think that's what I've always been, that I realized. That's why I studied theater in LA for 3 years, because I like... Oh, teehee. Yeah, so I studied theater in LA for 3 years. These fucking ads. Man, it always brings me out of the flow. Living in LA for 3 years. Oh, because I've always felt like I wanted to be some sort of storyteller. I've been like that since I was very young. Like, I was always imagining, telling stories, playing with my cousins. I was always the lead of, like, leading the story, not the lead, but leading the story. And I think telling stories is the best way. Oh, okay, T. I'll find out where you are some other time. Okay, I'll just continue. What was I talking about? Oh, storytelling. Yeah, I want to tell stories. I'm glad I got to share my story with you today. I should actually not have any music on.